Another day, another D class. So, dear, are you ready to dance the line between an approved experiment and what the ethics committee deems as going too far? Now, if my requests were listened to, you should be an insomniac, correct? Well, it shouldn't matter too much at the end of the day regardless. I intend to load you up with just enough caffeine that you will just barely not be kicking the bucket. Unlike the last D class I tried this with, who did. Oh, look on the bright side. Due to their sacrifice to science, as I'll call it, there's a better chance that the same fate won't befall you. Effectively, for the setup of this experiment, I would like to take a swing at recreating the situation of the Russian sleep experiment. My goal is to make it impossible for you to sleep, and then have you interact with an instance of SCP-1498. 1498 appears similarly to a sheep, with its body composed of phone cords and its head resembling a rotary phone. We have a whole flock of them within containment, and they're practically harmless, for the most part, seemingly non-sentient things that just aimlessly wander their chambers. Now, your job will be to simply pick up one of their phones and speak to the operator on the other end. They should claim to be from the Oniri Collective and will proceed to inform you of options that they have for dreaming and suggestions to enhance your dreams. Long story short, you're going to be ordering what dream you will experience. Now you can say whatever you please for this. I don't care much about what you want to dream about, at least not for this experiment. Quite the opposite, actually, since I want to see if I can prevent you from falling asleep entirely. You see, once you conclude your call, you should fall unconscious for 9 hours and experience the dream you had ordered. If that happens as normal, then I'll conclude the experiment there and you can be on your way back to the D-class dorms. But hopefully, with the amount of stimulants you'll be on, you won't be able to drift off at all. And when it comes to SCP-1498, limited exposures should go fine. So if you do conk out after just one go, you'll be unaffected. But when it comes to subjects who are continuously exposed, they will begin to experience both physical and psychological changes, such as desiring to sleep as much as possible, and various phone parts being found within or growing out of their body. Once a rotary phone has fully assembled itself on the subject's head, their transformation will be complete and they'll be dubbed SCP-1498-1 and displaying intelligence on par with 1498 instances. The question I wish to answer, though, is, can this transformation be prevented if the subject is not permitted to fall asleep? If you manage to stay awake after the first interaction, then I will have you continue to interact with SCP-1498 instances until failure. At this point, you will be monitored to see if the transformation happens at an accelerated rate or not at all. This is to determine if having multiple back-to-back exposures will have stacking effects. If they don't, then you will also be free to return to the D-class dorms, as we are already well aware of the usual outcome if this experiment is continued. On the other hand, though, if they do stack, you will likely fully transform into an instance of SCP-1498-1 within that 9-hour unconscious period. Then what? Oh, then we're finished. There's no going back once these side effects have fully set in, and all attempts to return the intelligence of an SCP-1498-1 instance have never succeeded to date. So, my little lamb in the making, for your own sake, you should cross your fingers that your experience is one of the first two options I've predicted, or perhaps even the pre-experiment error where the slurry of stimulants pumped into you is too much for your body to handle and you simply keel over. Regardless, I think that we're ready to begin. I'd wish you sweet dreams, but I'm crossing my fingers for the opposite.